Obasanjo instructs Inec to hold new polls on Saturday. Do they have the resources? This is a very big project. That is one thing. Even though over ₦1 trillion was budgeted for this one, only God knows how it was spent. And they are saying that they could not move around because of logistic and financial or cash crunch. So now, because of the irregularities, wide irregularities have been recorded across the federation on this election, Obasanjo has written a letter to Inec chairman to right the wrongs now, and make sure things are put right. He should take his time to do it. Okay. Also saying that he should rerun the polls again. But I know that it is quite a very big project to execute this thing twice in just 1 week. It's a big one. I don't know how Inec is going to right the wrongs, but Inec is still sticking to the result that they're churning out, saying that they stand by it. So let's see what a summary of what Obasanjo is saying. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to hold rerun elections next Saturday in constituencies where previous elections were deemed flawed. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, Obasanjo criticized INEC for allowing electoral malpractices to occur during recent elections and stated that rerun elections were necessary to ensure the integrity of the electoral process, which is good. Obasanjo's call for rerun elections comes after numerous reports of electoral malpractices during recent state and federal elections in Nigeria. These malpractices included ballot box snatching, voter intimidation, and vote buying, which have raised concerns about credibility of the electoral process in Nigeria. Yes. So Obasanjo, who has been in an active participant in Nigerian politics since the 1970s, emphasized the importance of free and fair elections in Nigerian democratic development. Okay. He called on INEC to ensure that rerun elections are conducted in a transparent and credible manner, free from any form of intimidation or malpractice. Overall, Obasanjo calls for rerun elections highlight the need for Nigeria to improve its electoral process to ensure that elections are free, fair, and credible. So that is what the summary of the letter. Anyway, because the letter is about 2-page letter, which probably we'll read or share later. But what the summary of it is that the INEC should do a rerun, especially those areas the election did not hold and numbers are purportedly coming out, or those areas where election held but BVAS machine was not used. Rather, they went on manual accreditation and voting. Okay, and also those locations where election was done, but the INEC ground staff refused to upload the election result through the BVS to the INEC viewing portal. That is another bad part of the process that happened. Or those locations where party thugs held INEC ground staff hostage not to transmit the result, like it happened in Rivers State, it happened in some part of Lagos, not to transmit the result live through the BVAS. Okay, so all of these irregularities, even if we do a rerun, are you sure they will not repeat itself? Because first of all, INEC has various problems confronting it, ranging from being bought over by the political bigwigs, and again being compromised by their own ground staff, also being intimidated by the party thugs in each state. So several things happened that will put INEC in the arm's way, and I wonder how they will survive that. Okay, saying they should rerun election, we're not sure that all of this that happened on Saturday will not repeat itself, because even the security agencies failed Nigerians. Okay, the National Security Advisor Babagana Munguno, alongside the National Peace Committee and the INEC stakeholders, they said security agencies have been drafted to all the states to take care of election violence and all of that. But what did we see? We saw violence escalated beyond availability and presence of security agencies. We didn't see them. Okay, just imagine Inec staff shot dead at Okwane Central, Okwane local government area in Delta State. After the election, the people were in their bus and they were going back to Asaba with the ballot boxes and all the information, and then hoodlums faced them and opened gunfire on them. At the end of the day, one Inec staff was killed, some were injured and were taken to the hospital at Asaba. So what do you have to say to that? Okay, and you say you had security everywhere. What kind of security did you have everywhere? Yeah. So I don't know how all of this, how Inec is going to correct this if we are to do the run. Because obviously there will be a run anyway. It might not be at the size or capacity that Obasanjo is looking at it, but obviously there will be a run. Meanwhile, there's another election coming on March 11 for the state governors, state house of assemblies, and all of that. So how do we combine all of this effort? Because it is not a small task; it's a very huge task. But I know that rerun will be the solution to solving all these problems. INEC accepting report from locations where election did not hold, from locations where election held by BVS was not used, or from locations where election was done but they refused to upload the report through the BVS machine. All of those places, their results are supposed to be rejected. Okay, or those areas where they saw underground staff thumb printing and you know, tipexing and doctoring reports. Or what about Kano, as and some parts of the north where we saw underage voters, children were voting, the most appalling of all. And the policeman was interviewed. You are seeing children voting and you can't stop them. Why? And he's saying there's no way he can identify them as children just by merely looking at them. How? That there are people that have stunted growth and can appear like that. Kuro and policeman was lying on the screen. And yes, and then those results were accepted. We also saw an Islamic cleric in Kano that threatened the INEC resident commissioner that if he does not allow child voting, underage voting in Kano State, that what happened to the previous resident electoral commissioner in 2019 will happen to him, where they burnt that man, his wife and his children, they burnt them alive. And now all of those underage voting that we saw in North are still being counted as part of votes from the North. Quite unfortunate. Meanwhile, prior to the election, INEC conducted voters register cleanup, housekeeping, okay, and a lot of this double registration and child registration were observed, and they said they had cleaned them up. So how come we saw these children displaying their voters card publicly? Okay, and you could see that they're not even up to the age of making decisions. Some of them are 6, 7 years of age, 8 years of age. Those are the people that they used to vote in Kano, and we are counting all of them and accepting them as part of the vote. God forbid in this country. God forbid. God forbid. All right. So Obasanjo instructs Inec as who? I mean, in what capacity? We all know that he is a partisan. He lost his moral right to be listened to. I am laughing. Can you imagine? Somebody said, thunder fire you because you lack memory. Laughing at your stupidity. That is it. When Obi was declared winner of Lagos, they were happy. This man need wrath of God. Can you imagine? I hear you. As GCFR, where you be, even Yar'Adua admitted that the election you conducted was the worst in Nigeria history. The Gaban headache will only increase your BP. Can you imagine? So this is what somebody is saying, insulting Buhari, Tinubu for asking for a run. The words from the elder, the wise man, this is instructive. Not every word of an elder is encapsulated in wisdom. Can you imagine? Baba at the Hill Road, them not see cash pay some ad hoc staff yet. Then go come do another one join. They not go fit now. I'm not a politician, non a party not a party member. Please stop insulting elders. In fact, Obasanjo keep a good legacy to Nigeria. He is the one that brought handset in our country. not just handset in our country. He is also the one that paid off our Paris Club loan that could not be paid for over 30 years. Okay, and he brought Nigerian international debt to zero, and then improved our foreign reserve. So what else? Eh? What else? So it's okay. That is what we're getting about the letter that Baba Obasanjo wrote to Inec. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.